Welcome back, agents. As we all know, the SCP Foundation aims to secure, contain, and protect. While most SCPs are contained in sites across the world, some SCPs must be neutralized for the greater good of humankind. These are our picks for the top 5 neutralized SCPs. SCP-1762, Object Class Neutralized. SCP-1762-1 is a plain cardboard box that is 32 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 26 centimeters. It is spray-painted silver on the interior and exterior, and the words, "Here be dragons," are handwritten in black permanent marker on the lid of the container. Opening the lid of SCP-1762-1 when it is not in the release process reveals it to be empty. SCP-1762-1 will infrequently open and initiate a release of SCP-1762-2. During this time, the box will briefly emit a large amount of black smoke that quickly dissipates. It takes an average of 20 seconds for SCP-1762-2 to emerge after the smoke clears. SCP-1762-2 is the collective term applied to the beings that emerge from SCP-1762-1. All instances of SCP-1762-2 resemble various types of dragons, in both Eastern and Western depictions, albeit in forms similar to that of origami models. Analysis of SCP-1762-2 reveals that they are composed of kami paper. After exiting SCP-1762-1, instances of SCP-1762-2 will fly together in large groups and interact playfully with any nearby personnel and each other. SCP-1762-2 varies in length from 9 to 30 centimeters. All are capable of sustained flight once they exit SCP-1762-1 and have been recorded attaining speeds of 50. The number of SCP-1762-2 varies with each opening ranging from 50 to over 400. After approximately 2 to 3 hours spent outside of SCP-1762-1, all instances of SCP-1762-2 return and fly back into SCP-1762-1. During this time, SCP-1762-1 will once again begin emitting smoke, and instances of will vanish after passing the rim of SCP-1762-1. SCP-1762-1 closes once all SCP-1762-2 have returned to it. The next date of release is inconsistent. A message written or carved into a varying material will sometimes materialize on top of attempts to send a message or recording device back with SCP-1762-2 have provided negative results. These documents and their appropriate dates of appearance are being compiled and recorded. SCP-1762-1 is held in a standard containment unit. During the periods when SCP-1762-1 releases SCP-1762-2, video logs are to be recorded for future research. SCP-1730, Object Class Neutralized. SCP-1730 was a large complex of structures 15 kilometers northwest of the U.S.-Mexico border within Big Bend Ranch State Park that was discovered. Due to the isolated nature of the complex and the low survival rate of individuals who come in contact with it, it is possible that SCP-1730 had been previously discovered, but unreported. SCP-1730 bore identifying markings and contained documents to support the claim that SCP-1730 was at one point Foundation Site-13, originally located near Nome, Alaska. This conflicted with extant records, which showed that Site-13 was a project that, while intended to be constructed in Alaska, was scrapped for the larger and more advanced Site-19 and was never completed. Flora located on site was identified as native to the Alaskan region. How SCP-1730 came to be at its location prior to neutralization is unknown. SCP-1730 was, upon discovery, in a severe state of disrepair and appeared to have been left abandoned for an extended period. The site power generator had continued to operate in a damaged state, despite a number of fuel leaks and fires throughout the facility. This resulted in intermittent power failures throughout the site, hindering exploration and rescue efforts. The origin of SCP-1730 is still unknown, as is the nature of many of the anomalous entities contained within. It is confirmed that the 2nd through 15th basement levels were utilized for entity containment, though the state of that containment had deteriorated significantly. It was believed that a contingent of human survivors existed somewhere deep in the lower basement levels of the facility. Messages written in English were discovered throughout the site, consisting of warnings such as "danger" and "death here," and other messages such as "not my body" and "bleed." A recurring message, "What happened to Site 13?" was found in several different locations in the basements. Several logs of data were collected by the remaining functional site terminals, the relevant data of which is contained in the addendums below. Worth noting is that inconsistencies exist between the logs and what has been determined through exploration, including site layout, staff makeup, and contained anomalies. Additionally, all logs are presented as they were in the original SCP-1730 documentation, prior to the neutralization of the anomaly. A circular perimeter has been established 2 kilometers from SCP-1730, and a quarantine zone has been established 1 kilometers from SCP-1730. Personnel who are to enter SCP-1730 must first undergo Class 7 hazardous contact preparation measures, including the application of a modified Maxwell-Harden hazardous material reinforced airtight suit. The application of these protective measures may only take place at the Provisional Site 23 Quarantine Main Gate. Individuals attempting to exit the quarantined area must first submit to thorough decontamination protocols as administered by the quarantine security staff. Individuals failing to meet the quarantine extraction parameters are to be held for further decontamination, or, in the event decontamination becomes unfeasible, termination. Containment update. Dangerous biological and cognito-hazardous entities have resulted in high casualties of security rescue teams. Mobile Task Force, Zeta 9. Mole Rats has been assigned to all current exploration efforts. Containment update. Due to the events detailed in Exploration Log 7, all future exploration of SCP-1730 has been suspended indefinitely, pending Overseer approval. Containment update. Due to information gathered by Foundation surveillance teams, exploration and recovery efforts into Site 13 are no longer indefinitely suspended. Details will be available on a need-to-know basis. Assigned Mobile Task Force units will be alerted by their superior officers. Containment update. Mobile Task Forces, Apollo 3, Game Wardens, and Tau 5, Samsara are activated and assigned to exploration of SCP-1730. Containment update. Due to the events detailed in Addendum 1739, SCP-1730 has been reclassified as neutralized. Additional research efforts are ongoing. Debriefing reports will become available as they are declassified. For a more in-depth dive into this file, you can check out our full video on SCP-1730. SCP-2682. Object Class Neutralized. SCP-2682 is similar in external appearance to a Korean raspberry fruit, except for its purple coloration. The object is attached to flypaper. This is only theorized to be a result of its proximity to the adhesive substance located on the paper. As of the time of this documentation, the object has been observed to communicate telepathically in the Slovak language and English. The range of this effect is approximately 35 meters around SCP-2682. SCP-2682 will begin communicating clearly after a varying period that seems to be correlated with the listener's intelligence and the time the listener has been exposed to it. The object itself maintains that it learns from mental electricity. SCP-2682 claims to lack knowledge of its surroundings. Interviews suggest that the object is unable to perceive stimuli outside of the suggested mental electricity, which is purportedly a kind of energy produced in sentient entities. Analysis of SCP-2682 is inconclusive. Although the object resembles the aforementioned fruit, microscopic imaging reveals only space. The object is not observable from certain angles and sometimes disappears from view for periods of a few seconds. Physically interacting with the object will cause unpredictable and usually dangerous reactions in the physiology of the participating subject. Examples can be found in the following snippet, 2682. Testing snippet 1 to 10. SCP-2682 is contained in its original place of discovery, an Epicenter K hardware store in Kyiv, Ukraine. The business has since been retrofitted with standard containment procedures outlined in this document. The object is unable to be moved, and a 70 MSCI FOVM containment cell has been constructed with SCP-2682 at its center. The immediate area around the store has been covered in a fumigation tent, and the perimeter is monitored by surveillance cameras. 2 armed guards with concealed weapons and incapacitating agents must be posted the inside front of the main entrance at all times. Non-personnel attempting to access the area are to be intercepted and turned away immediately. The use of lethal force is not recommended. Disinformation personnel working with local law enforcement will deal with all casualties at times when this becomes an issue. Personnel who may be seen leaving and entering the facility must be dressed in hazardous materials, suits, according to the disinformation protocol, poisoned water hole that has been circulated with local media outlets. Discovery. SCP-2682 was discovered in an Epicenter K hardware store in Kyiv, Ukraine on 11/20/2013. Employees of the business reported sounds comparable to television static and unintelligible words. Patrons of the store did not report hearing anything abnormal. Investigations began when employees placed themselves under medical care, and records were parsed. SCP-2996. Object Class Neutralized. SCP-2996 is a Class II incorporeal humanoid entity, initially discovered in an abandoned home in Nashville, Indiana. SCP-2996 appears to be a young human female of European descent with black hair and blue eyes, and a number of visible wounds across the entire body, including a major gunshot wound to the right eye. Although SCP-2996 is by default an incorporeal entity, the use of NPDN devices has allowed Foundation personnel to anchor SCP-2996 into a physical state during examinations. It is currently hypothesized that the use of these devices, along with other aspects of containment, is the source of SCP-2996's deteriorating mental-emotional state. SCP-2996 claims to be 8-year-old Emily Nash, the subject of a murder in Nashville, Indiana in 1929. Data recovered from various sources have supported the claim that an Emily Nash was found dead in her home. However, the listed cause of death was suicide. During interviews, SCP-2996 has rejected any evidence that supports suicide and has vehemently remarked on several occasions that its killer was a close friend and neighbor, 13-year-old James Franklin. The existence of this individual in Nashville in 1929 has not been verified. However, efforts to collect additional information are ongoing. SCP-2996 is to be contained within a standard incorporeal entity vacuum chamber at Site-81. This chamber is to be fitted with 4 non-physical displacement neutralizers. SCP-2996 may be allowed to request certain items for entertainment. Once weekly, SCP-2996 must undergo a routine psychological evaluation with an on-site psychologist to properly evaluate SCP-2996's mental state. Due to current concerns about the state of SCP-2996's mental health, the appropriate use of Class H electrostatic amnestic treatment has been approved, if necessary. Updated containment procedures. Due to the effective use of the NPDNs, it is possible to now perform physical examinations of SCP-2996. These exams must be performed once weekly as part of an ongoing effort to collect information regarding the physical nature of incorporeal entities. Updated containment procedures. As of 8/19/2012, SCP-2996 has been declared neutralized. All aforementioned containment procedures are no longer required. Psychiatric evaluation results. There is concern, to me, about the state of SCP-2996's emotional health. The object clearly is at odds with the evidence presented to it, as well as its current state of containment. Throughout interviews, it has become clear that SCP-2996 believed that it lingers in this world in order to enact revenge upon its killer, and that it was a powerful, unbound spirit. This, of course, is in direct conflict with both information that we have provided to SCP-2996 in regards to its death, as well as its containment within Site-81. SCP-2996, then, is no longer certain about a number of things, which has led to increased anxiety in the subject, as well as depression and suicidal thoughts. Given the nature of its being, the latter is of utmost concern. SCP-1422, Object Class Neutralized. SCP-1422 was an anomalous phenomenon that prior to July 9, 2007, prevented all Foundation personnel, including conscripted individuals such as D-Class personnel and jointly employed personnel, from learning of the existence of Yellowstone National Park. The existence of SCP-1422 has been confirmed through several methods. In a 2008 survey of over 5,000 Foundation personnel, 0 expressed knowledge of the park. This includes personnel who have lived in Wyoming for extended periods of time, personnel who considered themselves to be avid travelers and/or naturalists, and 3 personnel embedded in the United States National Park Service. National Park Service records do not show any purchases made by Foundation personnel within Yellowstone National Park, nor do they show purchases of permits or reservations of any kind by Foundation personnel. Purchases made by immediate family members of Foundation personnel are present, but at lower than expected numbers. The internet browsing histories of all Foundation-owned computers have shown a complete lack of searches directly relating to Yellowstone National Park, and relative to search histories obtained from non-Foundation sources, a lack of searches tangentially relating to the park prior to July 9, 2007. The Foundation possesses no documentation that refers to Yellowstone National Park dated earlier than July 9, 2007. Interviewed personnel have either stated that they had no reason to pay attention to the area of the United States in which Yellowstone National Park is located, or could not recall what, if anything, was located in that area. Several were able to recall conversations or events in which Yellowstone National Park would most likely be mentioned, but was not. Yellowstone National Park itself is not believed to have any unusual properties, as several investigations have not detected unusual levels of anomalous activity in the park or its vicinity. Approval for Foundation personnel to visit the park during vacations is pending. All information on SCP-1422 is restricted to personnel with Level 4 operational clearance. As of March 18, 2009, all personnel have been informed of Yellowstone National Park's existence, and personnel with insufficient clearance have had their memories of SCP-1422 removed. Those were our picks for the top 5 neutralized SCPs. Did any of our picks surprise you? Did we miss one of your favorites? Let us know what you thought down below. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more dives into the SCP files.